In one of the most hotly anticipated military aviation reveals in history, Northrop Grumman, together with the U.S. Air Force, has finally lifted the veil from the B-21 Raider stealth bomber. Journalists from the military technology and other outlets were invited to actually attend today's rollout in person, but it is being live-streamed for the general public after weeks of almost Super Bowl-esque build-up. Northrop Grumman actually teased the bomber in an ad broadcast during Super Bowl 49 in 2015. The aircraft seen today, also referred to as T-1 or aircraft number 001, is currently undergoing ground testing and is set to make its first flight sometime next year. There are 5 other B-21s known to be in various stages of production. We will be updating this post very quickly with an analysis of what we are seeing and first-hand reporting from on the ground in Palmdale. We've also provided a section to help readers catch up on the state of the program before today's event and to better understand what we know about the B-21 and what we don't. Prior to today's rollout at Northrop Grumman's facility at the Air Force's Plant 42 in Palmdale, California, is the first public look at any aspect of what has been a secret aircraft. Only a small number of digital renderings have been previously released since the first development contract for this bomber was awarded in 2015.
Good evening. What a wonderful way to begin an incredible and historic evening. Our national anthem with the percussion of true air power overhead. I want to thank Global Strike Command for that amazing flyover. The bomber fleet has been a cornerstone of this nation's air power, and tonight we roll out the next generation of capability. It's my honor to welcome all of you as we prepare to unveil the most capable stealth bomber ever built. This next generation aircraft defines what this nation is capable of when we work together. We are opening a new era in technology for national defense. Digitally designed, enabled, and maintained, the B-21 Raider represents a view into the future and brings it to the here and now. General Brown, senators, and members of Congress, and elected leaders from all levels of government, all of you, for joining us tonight. Each of you is important to this program and to Northrop Grumman. I want to take a moment to recognize those who have designed and built this amazing aircraft. Our Northrop Grumman employees, our suppliers, and our U.S. Air Force partners. So please join me in a round of applause for our team. Some of them are standing behind you tonight. The world has never seen technology like the B-21. So now, I'm thrilled that the time has come for you and the world to see the B-21 Raider.
When it comes to the aircraft's full range of operational capabilities, there have been many questions, including whether it might have new, somewhat novel low observable capabilities and the degree to which it will be pilot optional at the time of delivery. The ability to operate in an uncrewed mode was among the key requirements the Air Force laid out for the Long-Range Strike Bomber LRS-B, program under which the Raider has been developed. It has long appeared extremely likely that the B-21 is more of a multi-purpose platform than a pure bomber, and that it will feature significant electronic warfare, intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance, ISR, communications relay, and other capabilities. There have been discussions even about the possibility of the Raider having an air-to-air combat role, even in just a defensive manner. That it will play the role of a quarterback for groups of networked drones with high degrees of autonomy has also been posited. What we do know is that the B-21 will be a direct successor to the now 35-year-old B-2 Spirit, incorporating all the lessons learned and advances in technology since that aircraft was unveiled decades ago. In a way, Northrop Grumman has gotten the opportunity to build the B-2 2.0 of sorts, making the concept all that it could be. The Air Force has also made clear that the B-21 is part of a family of long-range strike systems, the full extent of which has been shrouded in secrecy. It certainly included new weapons, such as the future nuclear-armed stealthy long-range standoff, LRS-B, cruise missile that the B-21 and B-52 will be able to carry, as well as sensors and other mission systems, and may even directly include work on other stealthy crewed and uncrewed aircraft. It isn't clear how much these plans have changed in the years since its direct development began. Prior to today's rollout at Northrop Grumman's facility at the Air Force's Plant 42 in Palmdale, California, is the first public look at any aspect of what has been a secret aircraft. Only a small number of digital renderings have been previously released since the first development contract for this bomber was awarded in 2015. Those renderings have supported the long-established understanding that the B-21 would be smaller overall compared to its direct predecessor, Northrop Grumman's B-2 Spirit stealth bomber, and the war zones analysis that it will be optimized for higher altitude flight more in line with pre-B-2 advanced technology bomber concepts. The most recent concept art had pointed to a curious cockpit windscreen configuration. The B-21's basic range and stealth capabilities are significantly greater than the requirements that the Air Force had, Northrop Grumman's CEO Kathy Warden told Breaking Defense in an interview ahead of the rollout, but couldn't provide any specifics. The open systems architecture of the B-21 will make it easier to upgrade over time, and the ways that we've manufactured the B-21 compared to the B-2 that will also make it far more sustainable in terms of the exterior and the hardware of the platform.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It is an incredible honor to be with you tonight as the world's greatest bomber force takes the next bold steps into the future. What was once a nascent force with munitions thrown by hand from an open cockpit in World War I to a 1,500 aircraft armada launched for a single raid in World War II, America's bomber fleet is the globe's premier airborne extended deterrent.
Overall, Northrop Grumman has touted the B-21 as the world's first true sixth-generation stealth aircraft, and when it comes to its radar and other signatures, this will have a lot to do with the advanced nature of what lies below its radar-absorbent skin as its external shaping. Maintainability and sustainability requirements were also top design drivers for the B-21. The skins and structures on stealthy aircraft like the B-2 have historically been extremely costly and complex to maintain, often contributing to low availability rates. The B-21 aims to break that paradigm. The aircraft's many components, some of which are said to be mature, are also a mystery. Porting various well-developed avionics over from other aircraft, like the F-35, has been speculated on in the past. Laser-based or other types of active anti-missile protection systems may be in the bomber's future, at least somewhere down the line, regardless of its initial capability set. We know the airframe and its subsystems were designed to accommodate significant growth over what will likely be many decades of service. In separate interviews, Tom Jones, president of Northrop Grumman's Aeronautics Systems Unit, touted the bomber's ability to support the U.S. military's broader Joint All-Domain Command and Control (JADC2) vision, which is focused on the integration of advanced networking and associated capabilities into future operations. Regardless, the B-21 Raider is set to become a key component of America's strategic bomber force, alongside re-engined and otherwise upgraded B-52 bombers for decades to come, providing both nuclear deterrent and conventional strike capabilities. Air Force officials have made clear in the past that they see the Raider as being particularly essential to ensuring America's deterrent capabilities in the face of China's growing strategic arsenal. It is also a centerpiece of America's conventional weapons strategy in countering China militarily over great distances in an anti-access/area denial combat environment like what could be experienced in a future war in the Pacific. The Air Force expects to ultimately replace all of its existing B-2 Spirit stealth bombers, as well as its swing-wing B-1s, with B-21s in the coming years. The service hopes to begin receiving operational raiders in the mid-2020s, with the first squadron of these bombers to be based at Ellsworth Air Force Base in South Dakota. Additional units will follow at Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri and Dyess Air Force Base in Texas. The total expected size of the B-21 fleet is unclear, as is how much each one, as well as the total program, may cost. The Air Force has said that the estimated average unit pricing, not factoring in research and development costs, currently remains under the $550 million target, which is in fiscal year 2010 dollars, that was set as part of the requirements for the LRS-B program, according to a report from Bloomberg earlier today. This means the current average expected unit cost for the B-21 should be no more than $692 million in fiscal year 2022 dollars. The total estimated cost of the entire program is currently pegged at approximately $203 billion in fiscal year 2019 dollars, with $25.1 billion for development, $64 billion for production, and $114 billion for 30 years of sustaining and operating a fleet of 100 bombers, according to data the Air Force provided to Bloomberg. Adjusted for inflation, this total estimated cost is almost $240.4 billion in fiscal year 2022 dollars. However, the Air Force has talked about the possibility of acquiring as many as 145 B-21s in the past, which would have significant impacts on both the total program cost and the average unit cost. Members of Congress, as well as Air Force officials, have repeatedly described the B-21 as a model acquisition program, despite technical hiccups and other apparent delays. With all that being said, this is truly a historic day for the Air Force, Northrop Grumman, and aviation and military technology aficionados all over the globe. As noted earlier, we will be updating this post live with additional information and analysis.